2 days ago I showed you this room as we landed in this new place. Now I have to figure out where do things go. And honestly, it still looks the same. But today, I don't want to tell you I've solved it. I want to work on a plan and we can see that in real time. Because when you downsize into a creative life after 60, it's not just what do I get rid of, there's also what do I keep. And also when you're landing in a space like this, where do I begin? So these are 7 things I need to think through before I turn this crowded room into a creative space. Number 1 is creating a staging space. Before I begin to organize this room, I need to create a space where I can temporarily move some of these items that are blocking the way. But in a smaller apartment, even a temporary staging space has to be intentional and the space has to be created. And among all these boxes is my better microphone, but right now I can't locate it, so the audio might sound a little different in this and my previous video. Number 2 is clear a path to the closet. Right now the closet is behind those boxes, and in order to get to that closet to start placing items, I need to clear the space out. So before I can organize much of anything, I need to clear a path so I can get to the closet. Number 3, decide what needs daily access. Not everything in this room needs to be used every day. Some things need to be close at hand. Some things can be stored away a little further. Some can just live deeper in the closet and in the back of the room. Things I don't need to access often, but may need to refer back to later or may need access to them, such as art supplies, family archive, the books that I've published, my CDs I've recorded, and some of the CDs that I've purchased over the years, as well as the guitars and musical instruments that I use. I'm not playing those daily at this point. I used to, and I will be using them again. They don't need to sit in the middle of this room. So I'll be placing those deeper in the closet, not accessing them that often. And number 4, separate creative activity from stored memory. Some of what is in this room currently needs to be worked on daily. There's a lot of office work I have. That's what this desk here is for. That's where my computer is located. There are items I need to work on daily. Sometimes I'm working on an illustration, that might be in here. Sometimes I'm working on a piece of writing or family history. But other things, the guitars again, CDs, other stored items, can go deeper into a closet. They're not needed daily. So there's going to be an internal staged area in this room, currently active, used daily, used often, easy accessibility, and then the things that are going to be stored further away. Some of the family archive, the instruments for now, art supplies that I don't need to replenish right away, frames for the illustrations that I create, and other supplies that I use but don't need daily access to. So not everything that is stored is cluttered, but not everything that matters needs to be in the way. And number 5, reducing the footprint without removing the meaning. And this is where downsizing becomes more practical. I'm not ready to give up my CDs. I've recorded my own CD, and I've purchased CDs since probably the mid-1980s. I can reduce the footprint of them by getting rid of the jewel boxes and just retaining the disc. And for my own aesthetics or purposes, I like the liner notes and the booklets. That piece of art and the information and credits that comes with it is important to me, to have that complete picture as a complete work of art, not just a piece of music that is stored. I will be using a process to remove the jewel cases, thereby reducing the footprint and the size of the amounts of buckets I have behind me, like these size buckets, reducing those down and getting booklets that can hold the disc itself and the liner notes. And those booklets will hopefully be tidy and organized. I probably have 4 of these buckets of CDs. If I can get some good booklets for them and store them, it would probably occupy 1 or 2 buckets. No, that's not getting rid of all of them. It's not making a magical space in the room, but that's one process that I look forward to going through to reduce some of the sizing. And then those CD booklets can be organized, alphabetized, stored probably in the closet over in the corner. And when I need a CD, I'll be able to go through the booklets, quickly flip through, and find the artist that I need the recording of that I can play the music from. So it's that middle ground. I don't need to give away or throw away the CDs and the jewel boxes and everything that goes with them or donate them. It's a matter of not retaining everything with that bulk of space, so economizing and finding a middle ground. keeping what's important for me, but reducing the size and the space that it takes up. And number 6, giving these musical instruments a home. I may not be playing daily anymore. These take up a lot of space. I have 2 acoustic guitars, an electric bass, a mandolin, I have a dulcimer behind me, and I have a keyboard over here with a stand. Those can probably be put in the closet since I'm not a performing musician currently. Back when I was performing many gigs in a week and practicing and writing songs, I was using the instruments often and they would be out in the forefront. But now that I'm not doing music that often, at this point, maybe in a year or so, I'll get back to the music and writing and doing some performing. But for right now, these don't need to be taking up space right in front of me. So those will be stored in a closet. It's one category of items, but they're pretty big and they take up a lot of space. If it was one guitar, great. And I know people sometimes put hooks on their wall and hang the guitars outside of their case, but I don't want to be making holes in the walls here. And I like them in the case. I feel like they're more protected. They're not being exposed to sunlight or the elements, dust, etc. So if I was playing them more often, I think hanging on the wall might be a better way to display them and get quicker access, create vertical space without everything being on the ground. But I think for right now, I'm going to keep them in the case, stacked on top of each other, not in the way. And number 7, build one creative corner. Eventually I want this whole room to work, but I think in the short term, I need one creative corner, one place where I can work on my illustrations, do some of my archive work, some of my writing, one place to edit more comfortably, editing videos that I create, one place where the creative life can begin again before the whole room is perfect. This may all take a while. I'm not going to pretend it's going to be beautiful in a couple of weeks. I don't know how long it'll take to really get this functioning and structured the way that I feel it should be, so I can work in it more peacefully and then show as an example to see that I'm working in a small space. I have not forfeited any of my creative life or the things that bring joy and meaning to me. I'm still going to be creating and I'm still going to be working in a small space, a smaller space, but that was intentional. We've wanted to move into something smaller, have less of a footprint. You don't always get there before you land. Sometimes you land with what you see behind me, all around me, and then you make more decisions and you trim down a little bit more, you get rid of more things that you didn't realize you could do without before, and then you find the right strategy to stage everything into organized spaces. I'm going to be bringing you on this journey. I hope that you follow along. It's going to be a work in progress in real time or close to it, and you'll see the pieces falling into place. And hopefully when this is all finished and not only have we landed, but we've organized and I've downsized a bit more, I will show you more of my creative journey, some of the illustrations I work on, some of my process for writing, the research and the history and the family history I've done. And I published 2 books, and I've done that after age 60. And I plan to do another book next year. So I will bring you on those journeys of building this creative life after 60. If you're approaching 60s or you're in your retirement, you can be any age. You can be in your 40s or 50s and just have this plan marked out saying, I wish I had more time. Well, when you get to your retirement age, theoretically you could have a lot more time to spend the days writing, creating, whatever your medium is, however you want to express yourself, or do family research, look into your ancestry. That takes a lot of time. If you've got the time in retirement, you could spend it doing anything you want. You could travel, you could watch TV all day, you could take up sports. But I'm speaking from my personal experience, and as a creative person, I look forward to building more and more time into making this life a creative life. Retiring is perhaps changing the landscape of not having to go to a daily job, but having the freedom to put more time into the research, more time into writing, performing music, making illustrations, writing books. That's my path. I hope it inspires you for your path. If you enjoy that, follow along, subscribe, click the notifications bell, and join in the community. Write your thoughts. Write what has worked for you and what your plans are. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching.